Okay, next exercise I like to do to open up the shoulder girdle is pullovers. Right, they give you a pretty good stretch. So here you can take almost any bar. This bar happens to weigh about 7-8 pounds, but whatever's good for you. Something in the 1 to 20 pound range works pretty well. Take an open grip, lock your arms up straight, elbows locked, wrists kind of cocked forward. Allow the weight in your arms to go back over your head. Touch, keep your elbows straight, and then just come back up. I like to perform about 10 or 12 reps like this. I'm going to show you in a second how to modify this. So this is the classic pullover. On that last rep, I like to just kind of sit there, really extend everything if you want to straighten out your legs for more intense stretch. And then from here, you can progress into a military press performed up against the floor. So bring the bar down until it touches your head, push up, keep your forearms up against the floor the whole time, and just press back and forth. Now, depending on your level of flexibility, you may have to either regress that. If you could not touch the floor, if you were someone who was sitting like this and starting to bend, you couldn't touch the floor, you're going to have to modify that. So the way we're going to modify it, regress it, is we're going to raise up your hips. Two useful things to do. The best regression, or the highest, is to put the hip flexor underneath your hips. Now you perform the same thing. This is going to be significantly easier. This is a little too easy for me. I don't get much of a stretch out of that. But if you were real tight, it could work. Second thing you can do, if the hip flexor, if the foam roller is a bit too much, use an Airex pad. So these big blue pads, you can make up your own kind of substitute, fold up a couple of mats, whatever you want to do. Put this underneath your hips. So the higher the hips are, the easier the motion is. Then the middle level, which was what I was demonstrating initially, is on the floor. But a lot of you are going to be more flexible than that, and you're not going to get much of a stretch out of that. So the next level up is to place the Airex pad up on your shoulder girdle. So now when I do this, I get a much better stretch because I can go back a little bit farther. That'll work pretty well for a lot of you. But if we want to up the ante a little bit more, we take the foam roller initially, lay it longwise, so it runs the length of your spine. Now we take the pad. Now I can get a pretty good stretch, coming all the way back, keeping it straight. So even if you're relatively flexible, you'll probably feel that a little bit. You can do the military press the same fashion, and then the most intense would be to lay this perpendicular to your body. That'll really put a big stretch on that shoulder girdle. I will not be able to hit the floor this way. And so then we come here, really try to open up. I'm getting kind of close. Don't just let your wrist bend. Keep your wrist cocked forward so the stretch is on your shoulder girdle, and then come back up. Once you can get to this level of flexibility or beyond where you're hitting the floor, you're probably adequate for almost all resistance training exercises. And you can do the military press in this fashion as well.